And welcome coming to you from Outlaw Review, and I have Mr. Short E. Dangerously from Hellzapoppin Sideshow Circus with me today. Shorty, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
Not a problem. Actually, it worked out really nice. We're on a little bit of a break from the road. It's been a bit of a grind this year, so it's a welcome break to sit around and do nothing and do radio and do phone interviews.
Right? Well, I'm sure it's been quite a ride. Tell me how long you've been with Hellzapoppin now.
I started with Hellzapoppin back in 2013, and I have been a full-time touring full-time with them since 2014, and I'm in the middle of my fifth year on the show of working with Bryce.
Now, had you performed for other circus acts prior to this, or is this the first one?
Actually, this was the second one. The first show I got involved with, where I actually got involved in Sideshow, was a more traditional fairground show. It's actually the last traveling 10 and 1 sideshow in the world left today. They do it the way they did, still going to the state fairs and county fairs, and they do it like they did, back in the day in, the 30s and 40s. So it's a very traditional show where Hellzapoppin is a more modern show with a, rock and roll twist. It is just the perfect fit.
Most definitely. It was very cool to be able to see you with Avatar this past year.
That was an absolute dream come true for myself and the rest of the Hellzapoppin crew. Uh, Avatar and Hellzapoppin have been friends since about 2009. Bryce did the Black Waltz video with them, and we had the chance. We did some one-time only performances with them in the past, and that was back, I think, in probably 2014 as well, and then again in 2015, 16, 17, where our paths would seem to cross when they're on tour in the States, and we'd usually hook up and do a guest spot with them, and they'd do a guest spot with us, and we've all become really good friends and close friends, and that tour was actually 3 years, probably 8 years in the making. It's something that we always wanted to do together. And what was great about it is, when you're on the road and you get paired up with bands and other acts, sometimes you don't know who they are. You don't know much about them. You just go out and you work together. And for Avatar and Hellzapoppin, for us, it was like, oh, this is awesome. We get to go out on the road with our friends and have a good time, and we already knew each other. So it was an absolute dream come true.
Most definitely. So what made you decide to first go into circus performing?
I was actually a DJ, strip club and nightclub DJ for 15 years before I got involved with Sideshow. And it was a random phone call from the manager of the more traditional show. At the time, the money had left the DJ scene, with the invention of iPods and YouTube. And anybody can be, can call themselves a DJ and go into a bar and do it for beer money or a strip club or whatever. And to me, the money was gone and the art was gone. So I was looking for something different. And in 2012, I got a phone call uh, from the manager of that show inviting me to come out with them. And I wasn't sure what was going on and what the deal was. I knew it was a sideshow, and I saw their Facebook page, and I had talked to the owner for quite a while before I decided to go out with them. And I basically just wanted to get on the road. I didn't care what I was doing. I just wanted to go out and travel and tour and perform in different cities and meet people and just get out there. And at the time, I never thought in my wildest dreams it would turn into what it has been for me now. So it was just a random thing where I was looking for something different, and I wanted to get on the road and make a little. It turned into, and as they say, the rest is history. And now here we are.
Absolutely. So how did you come up with some of the acts that you now feature, like from Walking on Glass to some of the things you do with fire? How did you come to doing those things?
Um, well, glass walking in the fire and things of that. That's a traditional sideshow act. There's plenty of other performers out there that do glass walking, and now you've got Lego walking. And for me, when I first started performing in sideshow, I was DJ Shorty, the world's smallest DJ. Well, after I decided to quit DJing and tour and perform full time, I needed to come up with a different persona and a different, character, if you will. And that involved changing my name and recreating and rebranding and reinventing myself as a performer in terms of who I wanted that guy to be. And that's, where I came out with Short E Dangerously, and the world's, shortest daredevil. And at the time, I was dabbling a little bit with knife throwing and fire and breathing fire. And for me, it was about the most extreme acts and have danger involved in where I could be hurt or seriously injured, or in some cases even die, So that, for me, was what I figured was the direction I wanted to go. And the glass walking was something that I had wanted to learn from another performer who was on Hellzapoppin. She's no longer on the show. I believe she actually retired from the business, but she taught me that act. For over a year, I studied it with her and trained before I even took it on in front of an audience. And the act, I've been doing it now for a solid probably 3 to 4 years. And the act where it's at right now has just kind of evolved with pushing each other, if you will. And Bryce, pushing me in that act, and the lighting it on fire, that was I came up with to make it more dangerous and more powerful. There are other performers that walk while it's on fire, but I don't know of any performers that take 3-foot leaps into the glass while it's on fire. So it's just become it's a process of making it bigger, better, faster, stronger, more powerful.
Would you say that you're fearless? Because I know, certainly the average person, you ask them to walk on fire or glass, and they're like, hell no.
I wouldn't say I'm fearless. There's things I'm afraid of. But for me, there's a difference as far as that goes. And it goes back to when I was younger, I used to drag race legally on a track. And I had a Camaro that went 0 to 135 miles an hour in 11 seconds. And for me, there's always been a difference of being afraid and being scared. And if you're afraid, you shouldn't be doing it. Because that's when, you'll probably panic, and if something goes wrong, you'll panic, and then that will cause you to get hurt or further injured from where you're already at. And then there's being scared, which something bad can happen, and you accept that risk, and you respect it, and you have respect for what you're doing, and you have a full knowledge that this can go wrong. So it's more of a, I'm scared of it, and if it happens, it happens. It's going to be what it's going to be. So, and you've got to have that mindset when you're doing anything dangerous. You accept the risk and know that it's going to happen. I guess it's a prepare for the worst, hope for the best kind of situation. So that's probably the best way I can describe that. You just got to do it.
What advice would you give to anyone who might be interested in getting into circus performing?
No, I'm just kidding. It's one of those things where, for me, this is not a job. It's not. It's a lifestyle. You literally have to dive head first. I do a lot of interviews, and people ask me, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not on the road? Well, when I'm not out on the road, I don't do anything. I lay around my house, I play video games, I watch TV, I hang out with a few friends. Because my hobby is my job. And even when I'm not on the road, I'm always thinking and brainstorming. Um, and there's a lot of behind the scenes work that gets involved, that is involved with what we do. So if you're going to do this, you need to do it all the way. You can't be half in, half out. There's no half-assed in this. And you'll find that if you dive into it and make it your life, the rewards are going to be unbelievable. You might go hungry a few times. The money's not. I'm not rich. You're not getting rich by any means. I damn sure don't do this for the money. But it's a hell of a ride, and if you go into it with the right attitude, you're going to have the time of your life. But you're going to work your ass off. When I'm on the road, we work from sun up to sundown till we're done. A lot of early mornings and late nights. So, definitely, if you're going to do this, do it all the way. Don't go away at half-ass.
What inspires you to keep performing?
The audience, my fans, the energy and the love and the appreciation we get from the audience and the fans and the people that come to our show is unbelievable. And people wonder, why we're so tired, at the end of the show. It's because you're literally going to war with your audience. And it's a fight. It's a fist fight for an hour and a half with the audience. Not physically, but they're giving you the energy and you're feeding off it and you're giving them right back. Like they're trying to punch you in the face and you're on that stage trying to punch them in the face. There's a phrase that Bryce likes to use. He goes, "Let's kick their fucking teeth in." And that's what we go out there every night to do, is go out there and assault you with our show and, test and make you feel something. A good friend of mine always told me, he said, the definition of entertainment is making the audience feel something. Whether they're afraid, they're happy, they're angry, they're sad, make them feel something. And if you make an audience feel something, you've done your job. And that constant drive to always push the boundaries and push the envelopes and make that audience feel something is what motivates us and myself, every day.
Absolutely, and I see that you've gotten quite a bit of recognition everywhere for, what you do, from Guinness Book to Ripley's Believe It or Not. How has the fame treated you?
The fame has treated me pretty nice. I got to say, again, earlier, like I said, I never in my wildest dreams expected this kind of stuff to happen, from all the stuff with Ripley's, and now, the wax figure, which is now on display in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and eventually going to be in all the museums around the world. It's been incredible, and I'm actually, I can't give you too much information, but here within the next week and a half, or about 2 weeks, October 19th, I'm filming another TV show, and this is going to be something that's going to be either on Travel Channel or Discovery Channel. I'm not sure yet, but that family of networks. And it'll be airing next year, and that's really all I can say about it right now. So it's been a little bit overwhelming because I originally grew up in the Midwest, and it's I'm this kid from the Midwest, and now I am traveling the world, and I've got people that recognize me, in airports and that sort of thing, and it's pretty cool. But it's been a hell of a ride, and I can't wait to see where it goes, because I'm old in sideshow performer years, but I'm still a rookie also. Short, so I'm really excited to see how this all ends up and what that. Bryce and I, we always try to top what we did. We were thinking about that at the end of last year when all the stuff was going on with Ripley's and all that. And so this year we ended up doing a world tour. And so far this year it's been 16 countries, 30 states, 2 provinces, and I think we're at around 115 shows so far, and we're getting ready to do another month run. We're heading out with John 5 as openers for him for about a month, from the end of October until the end of November. We're going to be out with him, and then we're also going to have our own headlining shows on that tour as well. So
That's awesome. We'll definitely have to stay tuned for dates in the area, and also stay tuned for more announcements about the TV show that you have coming.
definitely make sure you check out, follow me on Instagram, Short E Dangerously, Facebook. You can find me on there, Short, the middle initial E Dangerously, and my website, shortydangerously.com. And also, if you go to hellzapoppin.com, there's links to all that stuff and all the social media for the show and all the performers and myself. So make sure you check all that out, and make sure you catch us if we're in your town.
Absolutely, will do. I know I've become a big fan of yours and Hellzapoppin, and so is my son. So we're always looking for dates.
Awesome. Make sure you check it out. I'm actually going to be announcing probably the remainder of the dates for this year's tour. Probably by the end of the week, I'll have that up on my site as well. But they're already up on Hellzapoppin's site, so make sure you check it out.
Awesome, will do. Now I do have to ask just a little bit of a more personal question. As somebody who, grew up with what some would call as a physical disability, you have really taken that and, you've made a wonderful career for yourself, and you've really overturned, what some people might see as struggles. What advice do you have for young people who maybe are going through something like that, and, maybe need some advice on how to make a change in their life?
Um, it could always be worse. Uh, is kind of my thing. You know, and just not giving up, and finding a way to get it done is, whether you need to do it your way or somebody needs to show you. And even if somebody shows you, you still might need to do it your way. You got to make things work for you. And you can't give up. I know it sounds cliche, but, positive mental attitude. The situation could always be worse. And, don't forget that. I mean, if you don't think it could be, it probably could. You gotta find a silver lining in everything. So, I was very fortunate. I'm very, very lucky. I worked very hard for 15 years, and dealt with a lot of rejection and criticism, and that's just the way it is in the entertainment business. So, you just gotta, it's hard work. You gotta work for it. Nobody's gonna hand you anything. That's for sure. You need to work for it regardless of your situation. I just was given an opportunity, and I made the most of it, and I made sure to try to make the right decisions in any situation. Always you got to do what's going to work for you is the best advice that I could give.
Absolutely. Well, I can definitely see that you've got a great positive attitude and such a great energy about you, and I think that certainly can be, a role model for a lot of people who are physically struggling.
Right on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anything else that I haven't talked with you about today? Anything else that you're working on? Any other shows that you wanted to mention?
Just that we're going to be headed back out to finish up our tour this year, or this month. And if you're in Daytona Beach, come check me out with Jasmine down on Main Street, October 19th. It's a female fronted band, and she is an incredible musician and has an amazing voice, and she's a really good friend. So come check me out with her, and if get a chance to, make sure you check her out when she comes around. And thanks for this is great, and make sure you come see us. We're having a good time always when we're out there, so come join the fun. come play with us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
No problem. Glad I could do it.
Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.